ndio tusongeshe households ambayo itapata stima ifike households 17,000. Ndio tu namna hiyo every year tutakuwa tunaongeza, ndio tufikishe stima kila sehemu. Na sikizeni, stima hii tunasukuma ifike mashinani, sio tu manyumba yenu. Tunataka pia itusaidie kwa ajira ya vijana wetu, kwa sababu tumekubaliana na hawa wabunge wote, kila ward kuwe na ICT hub, ili stima ikue hapo, tuwe na mtandao hapo. Wakati sasa tunasukuma stima, mtakuwa mnaona iko line 3 ya stima juu na iko ingine kidogo hapo chini. Hiyo moja ni ya ni ya internet, tumeweka fiber optic. Sasa tunataka kufikisha kila mahali, ndio tuwe na internet, tuwe na mtandao katika kila ward, ndio tupate vijana 200, 300 waweze kufanya kazi katika ile inaitwa digital jobs. Hiyo program saizi kila mjumbe ako na pesa kupitia CDF ya kujenga ICT hub. Kama ile mmesikia mjumbe wenu huyu Kimayo akisema hapa Chepkorio tumeweka ICT hub hapo. Hiyo sisi najenga. Yeye atapangana na hawa watu wengine tujenge zile nyingine za wards, ili vijana wetu hawa pale kwa mtandao waweze kutumia mtandao kwa ajira. Mtandao isiwe tu ni mahali ya matusi, kutukanana na vitu ambaye haina maana. Ile mtandao itumike kuweka pesa kwa mifuko ya hawa vijana wetu, kwa sababu tumetumia pesa nyingi kuwasomesha, tumetumia pesa nyingi kwa training kama ni TVET na zile zingine zote, na tutaendelea katika investment ya masomo, kwa sababu mimi ninaamini na nimesema ya kwamba the most central, the most important, the most critical resource we have as a country, the most important asset that we have as a country is our human resource. Utendakazi ya wananchi wa taifa letu la Kenya. That is the greatest resource we have. Na ndio sababu tunatumia bilioni 650 kila mwaka kwa masomo ya watoto wetu. Ndio sababu nimeajiri walimu 76,000 wapya. Ndio sababu tumeweka funding model ambaye inahakikisha ya kwamba watoto wa kutoka jamii maskini wanapata basari 90-95% wakienda TVET ama university. Na ndio sababu tunaweka infrastructure ya mashule yetu. Tumejenga madarasa 17,000 ya kusaidia katika hii transition ya CBC. Na vile vile saa hizi tuko na partnership na World Bank, 1,600 laboratories katika zile mashule ambazo hazina laboratories. We are investing in education because education is what sharpens our human capital, the most important asset that we have as a nation. And that is the reason why we are deploying resources in our TVETs, in our universities, because we want to make sure that we harness the potential that exists in our human resource. And we must give all our children the best opportunity to be the best they can be. Every child, formal education, technical education, the creative industry, arts and sports, we must give our children the best array and buffet of what they can be. Those who are good in academics, others are good in sports, others are good in creative economy, others are good in arts. We must, as a nation, and my administration is going to make sure that our children get the best. And we must support them. And teachers, instructors, and the managers of our education must make sure that every child in every school, TVET, or college, or university, get the best opportunity. We must equally protect all our children from pedophiles, from drug peddlers, and from those who want to corrupt our children, and teach them to hate their parents, or their teachers, or their leaders, or their nation. We must protect our children from those ones. But we must give all our children the best opportunity to be what they can be. So mambo haya yote ni ya muhimu. Nimeasikiza vile viongozi wamesema hapa. Mimi na wao ni timu moja, na tutapanga hiyo maneno yote na tuyatekeleza. Naona kuna watu wako na wasiwasi. Wale wanasema hiyo amesema ni uongo, hiyo amesema. Mimi nataka niwaeleze hawa watu wanaosema ati
manoto kisungu mane anadwa wacho matina henya nikech seche osedhi. Your Excellency the President, this man we are burying today was a freedom fighter. He was not just a security for Raila Amolo Odinga. George was a freedom fighter. And you have been shown the veterans who were arrested at that time and taken to committee for nearly a year. I am proud to say today that I acted for them when they were charged with murder. For 9 months, they were in committee. I've been to committee myself. It is not a hotel. And the reason why they were arrested was because at Central Park, a policeman, special branch, was killed at the Central Park near the Serena Hotel. And this policeman made the mistake because he was not in uniform. And people saw him draw a gun. So the crowd jumped on him and he was literally pulled apart and died a very painful death at Central Park. Now, instead of doing proper investigations, what the police did was to look at the people who attended that rally, and they were looking at people who were generally with Raila Amolo Odinga or Jaramogi at that time, and that is why they were arbitrarily arrested. Even my own driver, who is here, Michael Kuma, was also arrested. There's a young man I've known for years in the street, known as Dod Kenyatta. He was there. Lumumba Owade, who had just spoken, was there. There were nearly 9 of them. Your Excellency, what helped that case was there was a policeman who recorded his statement in English. And then when we went to court, after he had been sworn to say the truth and nothing but the truth, when he was shown the statement and asked which language he was going to speak in, and he said he is going to speak in Swahili. Unfortunately, his statement was in English. So when I started asking him questions in English, the judge then, Okubasu, insisted that he must answer in English. That there cannot be a policeman who was a superintendent of police who did not understand the English language. So every time I put him a question and read his statement, all the time he was saying, hiyo si mambo yangu, mimi sikusema hiyo. So ujinga ya huyo polisi ndio ilifanya hawa wenzetu wakatoka katika jela. They were found innocent, but the worst thing is that they were charged with murder. And this man would have been hanged. And it was not just one day. Lumumba here, after 8 months, again he was arrested in Bungoma, and they said they had killed the son of the former member for Ebuye, Honorable Sambu. And I used to go to Bungoma every day, very early in the morning from Nairobi. 5 of them were charged during a by-election. Most of those young men died. The veterans who were taken to community, nearly 3 of them are dead. But what am I trying to say? And you have said it before at one time, that the weaponization of the criminal justice system should stop. The police should not be used to make up trumped up charges. This young man at that time, he was in prison for 9 months on trumped up charges because he was a freedom fighter, and that's why he was being arrested and charged with the offense of murder. And I thank God that policeman, he wrote a statement in English, but somebody wrote it for him. And then when he was being questioned in court, he said no, he didn't know. There was a time when Jaramogi was called upon to go and give a statement at the CID concerning the death of Julie Ward. I think, Raila, you remember this because there's a young man who had gone into exile and had talked to Jaramogi. And Jaramogi made a statement. Instead of investigating that case, they now called Jaramogi to make the statement. And it was not an easy time at that time. So what I'm trying to say, let us build a society which is based on the Constitution and the rule of law. We can say many things. And me, I cannot be praise singing, because we fought for a democratic constitution where people should talk, where people should talk, where people should talk. I was in parliament when people used to tell Moi that Moi hakuna mahali utaenda, you will be in power until the day you want to go. They told Moi, and I was in parliament at that time, there are only a few of us who said we cannot have this system of government. And Raila was the head at that time when Jaramogi had died, that we do not want that system of government. So I am asking you Kenyans, this constitution that we fought for, it is a very difficult document to keep. And if you keep on, song praising all the time, we will not have a country. So I urge you, tell your leaders the truth. Tell your leaders the truth. And know that even when, President, when you came here the first time, I was the only one who was here. I was the only one. I was here because I was convinced that institutions must work. A lot of my men, even Otiende here said he cannot come. I tried to persuade him. I was here alone with you because I don't praise, song praise. I believe that you are the president and we are going to talk. So this country will go to the dogs again if with the kind of language I'm hearing here, you continue with that language. Please, when you have something being brought to Siaya, it is a matter of right. It is not you're being given, it's a matter of right. It's a matter of right. And I cry. When I was in parliament, I was the only backbencher. I was here with Omamo, I was in Okero, there were other people like Okwanyo, and they used to tell me that you must be in government. All of us cannot be in government. Just fight for your right. Just fight for your right. And you'll have a better country. Asante sana kwa hayo machache. I call upon Raila Amolo Odinga to come and speak.
Hallelujah.
Haya, naweza kuketi. Your Excellency, Mheshimiwa William Samoei Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, the governors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, hamjambo. Hamjambo tena. Yes. I first want to begin by thanking everybody who has come here today to help us do a send-off to George Nyangira Oduor. It is very, very painful and it's very difficult for me to talk about George. But first let me begin by bringing condolences from Mama Aida, my wife, who cannot be here today because she's on a mission in Korea. That's why she's not here. George is a part of our family. And you see, it is now 10 years since I lost our first son, Fidel. And now George is gone. It's so painful indeed. If you say somebody is ready to take a bullet for you, George, I've known few people who can be as committed and dedicated like this young man. We have had, as they have said, a very difficult time. Sometimes George is a very cool person.